Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsnight. My name is Charles Odongtho, and with me in the studio is Andrew Mwenda. He is the CEO of the Independent magazine and calls himself Old Man of the Clan. Andrew, you're most welcome back.
Pleasure.
Now, this week, we need to work on the issue of kingdoms. Toro Kingdom is at loggerheads as we know it. The last 2 weeks, there is pulling and jostling and all that. Why? Why must Toro, that we know and we always knew, votes 98%, 90%, 88% be at loggerheads with the president?
Well, first of all, I should tell you this. You know, the king of Toro is my cousin, so I have declared myself deputy king.
You can't do it from here because there is a prime minister who speaks for the kingdom.
He's a prime minister. I am a deputy king. That's what I have.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So I am going to speak as deputy king of Toro. One, I think that Batoro...
You're going to speak as an analyst on this show, and we don't know. For the viewer out there, they don't care whether you are a Mutoro or not. Please, your analysis.
Well, so the deputy king is going to analyze this issue of the kingdom. First of all, I think that Batoro, like Museveni so much, it has the highest support of Museveni after Kiruhura, 98 and Karamoja. And I think it is a strategic mistake by Batoro. Because if you support somebody to that degree, then they have the comfort to take you for granted. You see, if I was in Museveni's shoes, I would do less in Toro. Why? Because I'm so assured of their support that I need to buy those constituencies where I can grow my margin of support. So if a district like Bushenyi is at the 45, I need to do more to win over people in Bushenyi or Kunjiri because they are likely to shift than to do more in Toro where people are solidly behind me.
So where is that strategic mistake coming from? From the people of Toro?
The people.
So
Museveni is acting by a rational human being, but Toro have behaved in a manner that allows him to take them for granted. Because I know I'll get my 99% support or my 98%. So why should I bother myself trying to do so many things in this area? And Museveni loves Batoro, I should tell you. He loves that place and he knows they like him. But as a politician, he has less pressure to do more in the Toro region because he's assured of their support.
Can I now tell you
so
that
if
while you were away,
if the political leaders in Fort Poto were smart enough for purpose of the population, they need to demonstrate. It's like, have you ever tried to date a very pretty young lady? If you met her and immediately she's there for you, your interest may declare. But if she plays hard to get, then you invest more in order to win her heart. Now,
can I tell you that the few 2, 3, 4 days that you were away, that popularity might be threatened? This is why. As we talk, a number of youths moved and actually they walked from Toro up to Kampala. While in Toro, I think on Monday, when they were demonstrating, and you know demonstration is a constitutionally accepted way of expressing your disharmony or something like that, they were tear-gassed. Toro is not a place where tear gas is very common. It is common in Kampala. Now, doesn't that take away some of that popularity that you're talking about? Doesn't it annoy people?
I am disinclined. First of all, remember that Museveni is not operating in a vacuum. He's operating in a very specific political context. So assuming Batoro say that you are not from Museveni, whom are they going to say they will be for?
Whoever they can get convinced by.
First, the Batoro that I know are unlikely to change their allegiance to Museveni. They love him. It is like a parent who beats you up and you still continue to love your mom or your dad. Didn't your dad beat you?
So much.
Did you
exactly me?
So did you hate them?
No, of
did
course
you
not.
change
I loved them more
father?
because I thought they were putting me on the right track.
Exactly.
Actually,
so Batoro,
I loved them more.
I think Batoro are going to love Museveni more.
True.
Yes.
Is that so?
I don't think that his support is going to decline. In any case, I don't see an alternative to which they can shift and seek refuge. Okay,
let's go to the issue. The main issue that they're talking about here is the issue of the
about
ABA.
Toro political history. When Batoro like you, they like you. When they hate you, they hate you. Batoro hated Obote. UPC never won a single seat in Toro in 1962 April elections and in the 1980 elections. UPC didn't win.
How did your dad, for example, remain staunch?
Yes, he was a staunch UPC. He always belonged to that minority of Batoro who at no one time, that minority at no one time constituted even 20% of Toro population.
Let's now come to the issues. Two broad issues here which are specific to this.
His reference to the king.
His reference to the king as a boy.
Let me just answer that specifically.
No, let me put them together. You can answer them together. Two, the issue of the Ebiaitu, especially coming off Buganda being given theirs. Then the third one, I think the third one was the issue that, you know, you are doing this while you have already promised that you're supposed to give us back our our property.
So let me
and
teach
it's
you, the
not
next time
coming.
you're interviewing somebody, don't ask 3 questions. You ask 1 question.
No, if it can be...
I cannot unite them. Let me try to answer the 3 questions. Question 1, about the reference to the king. I think that Batoro, who are quarreling that the president called the king a young person, the president was joking. And I think the president has a fondness for our king. And because of that fondness, he was referring to him as a boy, because President Yoweri Museveni is the guardian of our king.
Yes.
In fact, he's actually his father. He's
Yes.
his foster father since the king died.
Yeah.
So, in other words, people should respect also Museveni as an old person, referring to a person who is...
He has taken care
he
of.
takes care of. Museveni cannot... although he's a king officially, to Museveni is also still a son. And for him to even make this joke that he will lose weight, I felt it was out of fondness that he made the joke, not out of insult. But people want to misinterpret it. The third thing you were talking about, J2,
Yes.
I think that Toro has very many properties in Kasese and Bundubuju, which now are under demonstrations that are dominated by Wakonja and Bamba, who feel a particular grievance against Toro.
Exactly.
I personally think that Toro pushing an agenda to claim those properties has political consequences, in the sense that it may be very difficult for Museveni to negotiate. So Batoro need to offer Museveni a political deal that can allow government of Uganda to pay them money in lieu of those assets, so they can be transferred to the districts where they are.
Because
and
the
what
Prime
was the
Minister,
third issue, which I have already forgotten?
the other one was the issue of actually the Bakonjo and the Bwamba. I think
The Bamba, not
the
Bamba.
Bamba. The Bamba. The people are called the Bwamba, right?
The region is called Bwamba,
Yes.
and the people are called Bamba.
Exactly. Now, those two entities have created their own, they have created
Cultural
their own
leaders,
cultural
yes.
leaders. And I'm told that historically, probably you know better than me, of course you have too, that they came off the great Toro Kingdom,
Yes.
and that is also creating some
You see,
anger.
I should tell you, I have always had a particular sympathy for Wakonja and Bamba, because I felt that when they started the Rwenzururu movement in the 1960s, early 60s, they had a justified cause. The Batoro wrote a constitution, and my uncle was the father of Kajabugo Karsoke. He was the Omuhikiro, he was called Rusoke. They wrote a constitution and said, Katikiro arabagu mutoro nyakabara, meaning to be a Muhikiro wa Katikiro, you have to be a pure Mutoro. But Toro was a multicultural kingdom. It had a multi-ethnic kingdom. It has Bamba, it had Bachiga, it had Nyarwanda, it had Bakonjo, and Bakonjo and Bamba were a large constituency. So, and in any case, we had people called Abatagwenda and people called Abanyakyaka. They are not Omutoro Nyakabara. Omutoro Nyakabara means a conk Mutoro, a pure Mutoro. So
Are you that?
Of course, really.
Please go ahead. Yes.
How can I even be deputy king? Where am I?
Yes.
Anyhow, so you see the point I'm making. So the Bakonjo had a particular, and I think justified grievance to say, no, we are members of this kingdom. So on the passing of that amendment in the Toro Rukurato, which is the parliament, Mukirane led the walk out of Bakonjo and Bamba.
Yeah.
Start
Winding up as we finish.
So the point I am making, therefore, is that right now, Bakonjo and Bamba were alienated, and if they want to have a cultural leader of theirs, I think Batoro should be tolerant enough to say, okay, even they speak a different language, let them have their cultural leaders.
Well, that is Andrew Mwenda. He is the CEO of The Independent, but today maybe as a Mutoro,
Also,
not as a deputy king, because there is no deputy king. The person who speaks for the kingdom is the prime minister, and he speaks on behalf of Oyo Imba. Well, that was Newsnight, and my name is Charles Odongso. I now hand you back to the news.